This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. You may recall a little while ago I did a video where I was talking about 5 guitars. It was one of the top 5 Tuesday videos, 5 guitars that I was curious about. Not necessarily bucket list guitars that I thought, oh, I've got to own one of those, but just guitars I was curious because I'd heard lots of good stuff about them, and I was just kind of wanting to document them really. And I got to tell you, the response to that video has absolutely blown me away. Several people have contacted me and said, that list of 5 guitars, well, I've got one of them, do you want to borrow it? One such example was the Patrick Eggle Berlin Pro that I reviewed a few weeks ago. And then the chap who loaned me that also, when he came to pick it back up, brought with him that Fender FMT HH Telecaster that I looked at recently. And another chap got in touch. He wishes to remain anonymous, so I will respect that. But he said, that video about your guitars that you're curious about, one of them's a Music Man Axis Supersport. I've got one. Do you want to borrow it? So of course I said yes, and here it is. I've literally taken it out the case about an hour ago, so this genuinely is a first impressions kind of look at the guitar. What I aim to do in these first impressions videos is give you that sort of the same kind of insight that you get with a guitar when you're sitting and trying it out in a guitar shop. That kind of initial sort of first impression, I guess. I will be doing a full deep dive review of this on Sunday with all the usual stuff, all the weights and measures, pickup readings, neck profile, and all that good stuff, and putting it into a finished track. But today it's just basically, imagine we're sat together in a guitar shop and we're chatting, and I'm sharing what I'm thinking of the guitar as as a first impressions kind of take on it. So that's what we're doing today. And the first thing I notice is the neck. I played a Music Man guitar probably for the first time back, it'll either have been 1989 or 1990, so over 30 years ago. It was when they were just becoming, their profile was sort of on the climb back then, and they brought out the Silhouette model, that sort of Strat style guitar. And Albert Lee was demoing them. It was at one of these little mini NAMM shows that Guitarist magazine used to put on. And, I actually met Albert Lee at that show. Nice bloke. Anyway, just there were guitars there that you could pick up and try. And I remember thinking, oh, this feels rather nice, the neck. And suddenly it's like I've jumped in a time machine, because that feel is something that I can that I can identify. I can remember the tactile sensation of that guitar from when I was, how old will I have been in 1989? 22 years old. Obviously, as I say, a long time ago. So, yeah, very, very comfortable neck. If there is any finish or any kind of varnish or anything, well, not varnish, but any kind of finishing on this neck at all, you certainly can't feel it. You can tell that you are holding a guitar that is made out of a big lump of timber, as opposed to some guitars with like the heavy gloss finish where it's, it could be anything under that kind of glossy sheen, but this, it really feels woody and nice. The other thing, I have had a little bit of a play of the guitar. The other thing that I am very impressed with is the pickup selector. 5-way selector, 2 humbuckers, and all the way back bridge humbucker. Let's call it position 1, bridge humbucker. Position 2 are the outer coils. Position 3 is both humbuckers. Position 4 are the inner coils. And position 5 is the neck humbucker. And already I'm starting to kind of enjoy that position 4, the inner coils. It's very, very Strat-like, which, given that I'm not really a Strat fan these days, I think it's because you don't expect to get that sort of sound out of a guitar with this pickup configuration. But listen how convincing that is. I'm currently on the clean channel of the Blue Guitar Amp 1 Mercury Edition, and as I say, that kind of inner coil sound goes a bit like this. I mean, you know, put it up against an actual Strat with, you know, kind of bona fide single coil pickups, and I'm sure you would hear the difference. But that would get the job done. You know, if you needed fat humbucker sounds, which we're going to listen to in a moment, and a Strat kind of tone in one package, and you didn't want to go the usual route of, you know, maybe a HSS style Strat, then, you know, for me, that's, in fact, I think it's the fact that it isn't entirely, you know, kind of a pseudo Strat sound. It's got a little bit more character to it, I think, but that's just me. Anyway, let's now hear what the outer coils sound like. You're going to expect this, I suppose, to sound quite Telecaster-ish, and, well, let's see. Again, you know, it's a close enough impersonation that it would certainly fit in a mix in the same sort of way as that kind of both positions on a Telecaster. Obviously, there are some compromises here. You know, it's not, you can't get a single coil neck pickup sound for that sort of, you know, kind of John Frusciante, John Mayer, Hendrixy kind of sort of thing. Wind Cries Mary, Little Wing, that sort of thing. It hasn't got that sound, but you could use either of these two single coil sounds for that, surely. Let's kick on a little bit of grunt. I've just switched over to the vintage channel on the Blue Guitar Amp 1. Very kind of old school Marshall sort of tone, and let's hear what the bridge humbucker sounds like under those conditions. Yes, indeed. You can tell it's, you know, it's still got that kind of sort of Fendery kind of snap to it, even with that amount. Again, it's, you know, you're not going to mistake that for a Les Paul. Or possibly you would in a mix, I don't know. But to my ears here in the room, it's got the sort of bolt-on Fenderiness as a definite character in that sound. You know, and big fat humbucker sound, it will do all the kind of high gain sort of stuff, you know, classic rock and everything, but, you know, it just has that sort of Fendery quality to it as well. Let's check out the neck humbucker and see how that fares with a similar sound. Again, can you hear that sort of Fendery quality in there? You know, it's a big, fat, recognisably humbuckery sort of sound, but it's still got that sort of top end kind of bite to it that you expect from a guitar with a 25.5-inch scale and a bolt-on neck. Very, very usable set of sounds, I think. All of which are going to be, coming to the fore in the demo that I'm going to be doing with this on Sunday. So, as I say, this is just an initial first impressions, look at the guitar, and they are very, very favourable. It's incredibly comfortable to play. It's not a big guitar, this, as you can tell. It's a very kind of not small guitar, but it doesn't feel big and bulky. You don't expect it to, but when you pick it up, even it hasn't got a forearm contour, and it hasn't got a lot in the way of contouring on the back, just this kind of slight scoop here. But you pick it up and play it, and because it's just so ergonomically balanced, I mean, look at that, no kind of neck dive or anything there, it just seems to disappear. It feels moulded to your body, and I like that in a guitar. I like it when you don't have to expend any effort or concentration on actually holding the guitar in place. It just stays where it's put, and you can kind of focus all of your energy on playing it and coming up with musical ideas. Let's just do a quick test to see how those kind of dirty tones clean up from the guitar's volume control. Let's see what that does. So that's the bridge humbucker. Let's go to one of those single coil selections, the kind of inner coils, the sort of stratty kind of sound. See what happens there. Again, it's it gets the job done. I would probably, this is very much a guitar I would probably leave on that kind of crunch channel there, and just dial in the relevant amount of dirt using this control here. It just feels to me like a more organic and sort of natural way of doing it, rather than having that sort of binary choice of a foot pedal that does the clean sound, and then kind of switch to the other foot pedal and it does like the dirty sound. It's nice to be able to morph from one to the other and do it in the same solo, on the same note in the same solo, if you so desire. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to putting this guitar through its paces properly. If I was sat in a music shop now and I'd taken this off the rack and was playing it, it would be definitely something that I would be thinking, yeah, okay, let's just check the old bank balance, shall we, and see what what I can and can't afford. So, yeah, looking forward to doing the full review on this one. But that is the video for today, folks. Those I should say, are my first impressions of the rather wonderful Music Man Axis Supersport. Make of it what you will. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it entertaining and informative in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars and all manner of other things. Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.